speaking of church, can I say something? If more folks went to church, we wouldn't be in this mess we're in now.
You know what? I agree with you, Doug. I'd like to shake your hand, sir. Here we go.
No,
Oh, no. Oh, no, it's just a handshake. Yeah, it's just a handshake. Yeah, all right. You're welcome in Black Jeopardy anytime.
All right. Well, thank you, my brother. Maybe I'll start a show for you to come on, and we'll call it What Jeopardy?
No. We don't need it. We don't need it. But slow it down a little bit, Doug.
Let's really break this down because there's a lot to unpack here. Tom Hanks, SNL's 50th anniversary special, Hollywood's obsession with mocking everyday Americans, this whole mess is the perfect storm of tone-deaf arrogance, lazy comedy, and a complete failure to read the room. Now, I know what you're thinking. Tom Hanks, the guy who played Forrest Gump, America's dad? What the heck happened? Trust me, I was just as baffled. But here we are, talking about how Hanks torched his own career on live television with a skit so obnoxious, so painfully unfunny, that even Bill Maher had to step in and say, okay, enough already. And that right there should tell you everything. When Bill Maher, who has made a career out of cozying up to Hollywood's elite, calls out the insanity, you know things have gone way off the rails. Because let's be honest, Hollywood types have been running the same tired playbook for years now. They think they can endlessly mock Trump supporters, paint them as ignorant hicks, and pat themselves on the back for being the enlightened ones. But guess what? The joke's not funny anymore. It hasn't been funny for years. Let's talk about this disastrous skit for a second. If you haven't seen it, count yourself lucky. The premise? Tom Hanks playing a Southern Trump supporter in what can only be described as a parody written by someone who has never met an actual Trump voter in real life.
Tom Hanks was involved in a skit where he just mocked MAGA voters. And I couldn't help but think, why?
It reminded me of an abuser who goes back to a woman and puts on the mask.
The whole thing boiled down to lazy stereotypes, cheap insults, and the same smug condescension that's been oozing out of Hollywood for nearly a decade. Because, nothing says comedy like belittling half the country on live television. And here's where SNL really shot itself in the foot. Tom Hanks was the absolute worst possible choice for this role. Let's be real. Hanks is not a comedian. He's never been a comedian. His whole career is built on playing the relatable, everyman hero. The guy you trust, the guy you root for. That's why people love him, or at least used to love him. But the second he put on that Southern accent and started playing the part of a clueless Trump voter, it all fell apart. It wasn't funny. It wasn't clever. It was just cringeworthy, lazy, and deeply out of touch. And instead of making people laugh, it just made them angry. Because, believe it or not, people are tired of being mocked by millionaire actors who have never spent a single day in their shoes. Would this have been received better if it were someone like Will Ferrell? Probably. At least Ferrell has actual comedic timing. But Hanks, the guy whose entire brand is built on being America's sweetheart, it was a disaster waiting to happen. And oh boy, did it happen.
Tom Hanks, I like him as an actor, joined a tribute for the 50th anniversary of Saturday Night Live, mocked supporters of Donald Trump, who actually won the election with the majority of the votes, as a racist, or they're all racists, and stupid godbotherers. Have a listen.
Speaking of church, can I say something? If more folks went to church, we wouldn't be in this mess we're in now.
You know what? I agree with you, Doug. I'd like to shake your hand, sir. Here we go.
No.
Oh, no. It's just a handshake. Yeah, it's just a handshake. Yeah, all right. You're welcome in Black Jeopardy anytime.
Now let's take a step back, because this isn't just about one bad skit. It's about a Hollywood establishment that is completely stuck in the past. They still think it's 2016. They still believe that bashing Trump voters is the quickest way to score applause from their fellow elites. They still operate under the delusion that they're the resistance, as if Hollywood, the most powerful entertainment industry on the planet, is somehow a band of brave freedom fighters standing up against the big bad orange man. But here's the problem. America has moved on. People are dealing with inflation, rising crime, an unstable economy. Real problems that actually affect their daily lives. And yet, instead of addressing any of that, SNL, and Hollywood as a whole, just keeps recycling the same tired jokes about MAGA voters. And here's where it gets even funnier. Most Americans don't care anymore. The Trump obsession is over. It's done. The only people still clinging to it are out-of-touch celebrities who haven't realized that the culture war battlefield has shifted. Now let's talk about Bill Maher for a second. Like I said before, I'm not a Maher fan. The guy oozes smugness, and he spent years pushing the same liberal talking points as everyone else in Hollywood. But credit where it's due, he at least understands when something is played out. He even had to call out Tom Hanks and SNL for this nonsense. He flat out said what we've all been thinking. Hollywood needs to get over this Trump obsession. It's tired, it's stale, and most importantly, it's not funny anymore. And this is where SNL's biggest problem lies. It's not just that they're political, it's that they're predictable. Comedy is supposed to be subversive. It's supposed to push boundaries, take risks, and punch up. But SNL, they're punching down, mocking everyday Americans while pretending they're being edgy. And let's not forget, SNL is a business, a failing one. Their ratings have been circling the drain for years, and it's no mystery why. People don't tune in to laugh anymore. They tune in to see what political propaganda they're going to be force-fed that week.
It's time for Lefties Losing It, and I regret to inform you that Hollywood celebrities, even ones who were once widely admired, have decided to trash their own brand in an effort to get Trump. And it didn't end there. Watch what happens when a black man tries to shake the hands of Tom Hanks' idea of a Trump supporter. This is what these out-of-touch dimwits from Hollywood think of the average American. They don't just hate the president, they hate the majority of their countrymen.
You know what? I agree with you, Doug. I'd like to shake your hand, sir. Here we go.
Now let's get back to Tom Hanks. Because if there was ever a moment where a beloved actor nuked his own career in real time, this was it. For decades, Hanks has built his brand on being America's dad. He's the wholesome, trustworthy guy that people like. And that's important. Because in Hollywood, likability is everything. But now, he's just another out-of-touch millionaire taking cheap shots at the people who made him famous in the first place. And that's a career killer. People don't want to be preached at by a guy who lives in a bubble of wealth and privilege. They don't want to hear how stupid they are from someone who hasn't had to worry about gas prices, rent, or putting food on the table in decades. And the worst part? Hanks isn't even trying to backtrack. Instead of realizing that maybe, just maybe, mocking half the country isn't the best PR strategy, he's doubling down. Let's call it what it is. SNL is done. The show has been hemorrhaging viewers for years. It's lost its edge, lost its charm, and lost its ability to make people laugh. Instead of being a comedy powerhouse, it's become a smug, insufferable echo chamber where rich celebrities take turns preaching to the choir. And if this skit was supposed to be some kind of 50th anniversary celebration, what a fitting way to go out. Because if this is the best they've got after half a century, then maybe it really is time to pull the plug. At the end of the day, this isn't just about one bad joke. It's about an entire industry that has lost touch with the people who once supported it. Hollywood keeps wondering why audiences are tuning out, why people are canceling their subscriptions, why SNL is circling the drain. Well, here's the answer. Because nobody wants to be lectured to. People watch comedy to laugh, not to be insulted. They watch movies to escape reality, not to be scolded by actors who think they're morally superior. And if Hollywood doesn't wake up soon, they're going to find themselves performing to an audience of no one. If you guys liked today's video, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.